the bravest people are not necessarily the writer, but the people who are surrounding the writer, who aren't sitting there trying to stifle the writer. Because a lot of times that happens where, a lot of times my friends will be like, whoa, like Erin was okay with that. And I was like, I hope so. I think that especially as creatives, it's really important to surround yourself with people who are expanders, who want to take you and help you grow to your fullest, I don't want to say potential because I hate that word, your fullest expression, right?
Yeah.
Who don't want to stifle you, who don't want to make you small, who really want to give you the juice you need to flourish. And I think we have to be careful about who we let into our worlds, because sometimes like the haters are going to find their way close to you, and you're going to say, oh, I want to publish a book. And they're going to be like, why would you want to do that? Like, why don't you go get a real job? So I think it's really important to be protective of your energy and make sure that the people in your circle inspire you and are inspired by you. And, that's how we put our best work out into the world, is when we have that community around us.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Untitled Work in Podcast. I'm Darcy.
And I'm Lauren.
And our special guest today,
Melody Godfred.
We are very happy to have you here. I'm very excited to be going over the niche topic of poetry. So I guess my main question that I'd like to know, just so we can get a little background on you, is when did you start writing and what led you into poetry?
Well, there's a short answer and a long answer. The short answer is I've been writing my whole life, but I became a published poet a few years ago at the age of 38. I published my first poetry collection. Originally, it was self-published, and then it was acquired by Andrews McMeel. And since then, I've published 3 more books. The long answer is I took a lot of detours on the way from poet to poet, including becoming a lawyer and an entrepreneur. And so I say that because it's never too late to be who you are meant to be.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's super exciting. I mean, crazy to go into being a lawyer and everything like that, and then still being like, okay, but I'm a poet, and that is my my passion. I love that so much. And you have a very unique experience too as a writer, because you've done both independent publishing as well as trad publishing. What do you find the differences between the two types of publishing? And I guess what are the experiences with them that you think are the most notable to talk about between both types?
I first self-published in 2010 on CreateSpace, which was the precursor to KDP when it got acquired by Amazon. So really old school.
Nice.
And back then, self-publishing was a dirty word. It was like something you did because you failed and you had no other choice. And I did it with a lot of shame, I'll be honest. I did it because I really wanted to get my book. I had written a political thriller, and I really wanted to get it out there.
John Grisham over here, all the law and political thriller.
Exactly. And I did it with a lot of shame. And then the culture around self-publishing changed, and it became a way to share your voice in as professional as a way as a traditional publisher might, but while holding all the cards yourself. For me, I self-published 2 more times in 2018 and 2020. And the second time I did, it was incredibly successful. It was an Amazon bestseller, and it caught the attention of a publisher. Yeah, it was really cool. And I was really strategic about how I did it that last time. And I'm happy to share some insights into what I did differently with that release as compared to my prior ones.
Yeah.
I think self-publishing is great because it gives you all the control. You control the timeline, you control the content, you can make edits anytime you want, update a new. But I think the challenges are, it's really you against the world. You have to do everything on your own. And the 2 reasons I decided to sign a traditional book publishing deal, one is that I wanted a team. Yeah. And I wanted a team that I didn't need to employ myself, because as an entrepreneur, It's not my cup of tea to be an employer and manager.
Yeah,
and the other thing is, I really wanted to be in bookstores. That was something that was important to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with traditional publishing, you gain access to a network of independent and corporate bookstores, not just in the US, but around the world. And that felt really cool to me.
Yeah.
But look, the finances are very different. If you can get your self-published book to hit, you stand to make a lot more than you would in a traditional book deal setting.
Yeah.
And people should know that going in, because I think sometimes you think that traditional publishing, oh, it's more glamorous, you must be making more money, and that's not always the case. So I always tell people, like, before you decide which path you want to take, have clarity around what your goal is. For me, my goal was a team and bookstores. And
That's
so
great.
traditional publishing was what made sense. For someone else, it might be something else. So it's important to know what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. It's just so important to recognize there's so many different options for paths. And it really, you just need to kind of like wrestle through and understand what are the requirements to go down these different paths, and then find the one that works best for you. You know, like you're saying, like if you really want to have that team so that you feel like encouraged in that realm, and you've got consistency, you have people checking in, you have people pushing things for you, so it's not you on the treadmill every day pushing the book. Like that's a great way to go. If you want the complete creative freedom to write whatever you want to write and not be bound by any specific, you know, settings or genres or whatever, like independent publishing is probably a much better fit.
Yeah. And the beauty is there's no shame in either of them these days.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And like we've come so far as a culture where we've eliminated that gatekeeper element. And it's just a matter of figuring out what's a better fit for you.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, either way, you have to be a social media marketer. I don't care if you're like with the biggest publisher in the world or if you're just an indie person on your own. If you can't figure out how to get comfortable putting yourself out there on social, on a newsletter, like promoting your work, it's not going to work either way. So I think that is one of the challenges of being an author in 2025 is you are as much a marketer and brand builder as you are a creative writer.
Yeah, how is that different for you for marketing for traditionally versus indie? Because I totally hear what you're saying and I totally get that, but I'd love to just understand a little bit better. Like, obviously with indie, I think a lot of independent authors know, like, oh my gosh, I have to come up with content, I have to create content, I have to publish content, I have to come on a post. Like, there's a lot to it. But from a traditional standpoint, what are you being asked to do, or what is required of you to actually get this stuff out there alongside your team?
I don't know that there are formal requirements. Like they're not dictating
they're not sending
to me
you a
what
list.
I need to, right? And I know that they are making every effort to help my book. They're sending out PR pitches. They're sending out influencer gift boxes. They're sending out communications to indie bookstores. I mean, I am so lucky to have a real partner in my publisher, and they believe in me and they want to do everything. But nonetheless, I'm the one making reels and posting them on Instagram and I'm on Threads, which is how I found you. I have a Substack newsletter that I publish. If I had a little more courage, I'd be on TikTok more consistently. You know,
and me both.
Right?
TikTok's intimidating.
It's intimidating, but I need to continue to push myself because that is where people are made or broken. I mean, like if you can figure out how to be interesting on TikTok, then it's really good for your books. So
there's nothing more discouraging than being like, this is gonna work on TikTok, and then it flops and you're like, it's like there's a movie where a dad just gestures to all of his son. He's like, I don't know what to do with this. And he's like, you gestured to all of me. That's how it feels on TikTok sometimes. Like, I just gave you everything and you're like, meh.
You know what's so funny is I got served a video the other day. I don't even remember if it was on TikTok or on Instagram, probably Instagram because I'm old and that's where I live. It said, it's not the algorithm, it's you. And it was basically saying like, it's not the algorithm. Like if you're creating content that somebody wants to watch and share, it will do well. And it was a little hard to hear, but I think every author needs to hear that. I think sometimes there's this incredible pressure to just produce and put stuff out there. And what I'm really thinking about now is, would I share this with my friend? Like this thing that I'm putting up right now,
Yeah.
if someone else put it up, would I be inclined to send it to my bestie?
That's a
And if
great
the
question.
answer is no, then like don't do it. Like don't just feed the beast. Be
Yeah.
thoughtful.
Yeah.
And because shareability is what these
Yeah.
algorithms care about the most right
Yeah.
now. And
Yeah.
if you yourself wouldn't be interested enough to share it, then perhaps a different strategy is required.
Yeah.
That's excellent advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to loop back a little bit.
Oh,
You
sorry.
said,
Yeah.
oh, no. I just, you had said, with your second self-published book that you really like blew up and you had done it a little bit differently than your first.
Yeah.
Could you kind of go into that a little bit?
Yeah. So that was self-love poetry for thinkers and feelers. And whereas in the past, I've always been very self-guided and I thought, I always just follow my intuition, whether it was in starting a business or writing a book. I followed my intuition and I just put it out there. This time I was a little bit more deliberate and I'm like, okay, I know the book I want to write, but let's look at what the bestsellers are in that category. What do they look like? What do the descriptions sound like? What are the covers like? What categories are they selecting as their 3 categories on Amazon? And how can I create something that fits into the mold of what's already successful there? The poetry itself was all original. I didn't sit and read other people's poetry books and try to model my work off theirs. But in terms of the packaging, I treated it as though I was going to grad school on Amazon. Like what works on Amazon?
Yeah.
And so that was the first step. And then the second step is, with Amazon, your launch day and your launch week and your launch month, like that pocket of time is so important. And so I really rallied my community to buy books on launch day, to leave reviews as soon as possible. I really created this groundswell so that on day 1, it became the best new release. So it ranked as a bestseller.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, it trips the algorithm on Amazon. And Amazon's like, oh, this is something good. And at one point, Amazon was running Google ads for my book. Like I wasn't running the ads.
Wow.
Amazon, right? Like I didn't even know that happens. But because the book was performing, they gave it a boost.
Huh.
And
That's
so,
awesome.
Well, they have the money for it.
Yeah, right? The Amazon boxes in my living room will tell you where that money is coming from. And it all comes back to this. I think as authors, we like to live in our right brains, right? To tie into my book, Self-Love Poetry for Thinkers and Feelers. We are feelers. We want to be creative and pour our souls into this magical work of art. But in order to be a successful author in terms of getting your book in front of as many people as possible and making an impact on the world, you really have to use that left brain and think about, okay, like what is my strategy around what this book looks like, how I'm sharing it with the world, how I'm promoting it, because then the work has a chance to stand on its own legs. Like if nobody sees it, then it doesn't matter what you wrote. And I kind of had that experience with that first book in 2010. It was a brilliant concept. It was about a woman who ran a talent agency, but was undercover CIA, and she would manipulate her clients to create scandals that distracted the public from politics. And living in it, right? Like we're living that now.
That sounds like right now. I was gonna say,
right?
Well, somebody read that book because it's happening.
Somebody read it, but had I known what I know now about how to market a book to the world, I'm sure it would have become the bestseller I had hoped. Yeah. And I think a lot of artists may get discouraged because they think like, why isn't this taking off? And the truth is like, you have to give people a chance to experience your book for it to take off. And that means you have to be thoughtful about how you bring it into the world and how you share it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think as two people that are working towards like our first published piece, that's amazing advice to be able to go in and have. Because a lot of the times, like you were saying before, like the gatekeeping of everything, it makes it really hard when you're starting out and you want to go into it, but you have absolutely no idea where to start. So that's excellent advice to have and be able to share with people.
Yeah, and just, the world is our oyster right now, if you think about it. Like in the past, all these social media algorithms were completely driven by follower count. And that is no longer the case. Like you can have no followers, and if you make something amazing, people will see it. Yeah. And then you have, platforms like Amazon's KDP that allow you to publish and print on demand with zero investment.
Yeah, that's
right? Like, so that frees up money to maybe hire a social media support team, right? And maybe you can invest a little bit in a really good cover that, grabs people's attention and fits your genre. It may be free, right, to technically get the book up, but I think anyone trying to write a book should have a little pot of money, whatever it is, like $500 even, because you're going to need to run Google ads. Like there are ways to give your book a chance, but you're going to have to be willing to invest in yourself.
Yeah. And it's important to know about like just the upfront cost too of like you could technically put it out for free, but if you don't want someone to steal it, like you have to get a copyright, you have to get an ISBN. Like if you there are some costs that just have to be like you have to be aware of or have to be counted as you go into this, if that's the direction you want to go of like commercial success or commercial public, like wanting to pursue commercial success. But sorry, Darcy, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Speaking to those points, like I know AI is like a really hot button issue with creatives. Yeah. But if you don't know the mechanics around bringing a book into the world, go ask chat. Like, what are the steps I need to do to protect my book? Yeah. Like, what do I, because like, I do think there's value in quickly aggregating that information so you can stop standing in the way of you actually doing it. Because I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I get analysis paralysis. I'm like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I've been on Google for 16 hours. I've read every article. I don't know which one to believe. And sometimes I just need one answer. So to your point, like, if you don't know how to get a copyright, how do I get a copyright? And they'll give you a link to the copyright office, how do I get an ISBN? Like, don't allow the uncertainty around what you need to do to stand in the way of you doing the thing. Like there are ample resources these days to make it very, very easy to share your book with the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a lot to go into the book sharing process for sure. And I think, I guess, so within that, I guess with the book sharing and the way you've marketed and stuff, I know you've probably been really engrossed now at this point in the writing community itself. Like you've probably, I know I'm sure you've gone to like conventions and stuff like that, just because you are a published author with great pieces, by the way. I love your books.
Thank you.
And so how is that kind of, I guess, meeting other writers and other authors and stuff like that? How has that like shaped the way you write now and the way you market and publish?
Community is something I value very, very much. It's just like one of my core values in life. And this poetry community that I've been so pleasantly engaged with over the last few years has been an unexpected delight. Like I didn't know going into this field, I really had no idea that there were so many poets that are active on all these different social platforms, and everyone is supporting everyone. Everyone's commenting on, and it's not like a pod. It's not like like for like. It's like, oh my God, you're amazing. Like I read your poem, I bought your book, I shared it, and everyone is showing up for each other. Yeah. And that feels really cool because being a writer can be so isolating sometimes. I spent 2 years working on my latest book. And during that process, even though I have a traditional publisher, like I didn't have an editor I was bouncing ideas off of. I was alone writing and developing this book. And it wasn't until I reached out to some poetry friends or some family friends that I was like, what do you guys think about this? And that's like the joy of it, to like be able to see someone experiencing your work as it's becoming real.
Yeah.
And I think that having that community, it not only is it great once you have a book, but in the process of cultivating your book, it's so wonderful to be supported by people who really understand what it's like to do what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's one of our biggest things that we always say is just like outsource. It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to have people to bounce things off of.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to do anything in life alone. I think we've become so isolated, and it feels normal to do everything in isolation. I just don't think that's healthy for us at all. I think we should be much more tribal than we are, and that's one of the reasons why social media sometimes like isn't the cesspool that we think it is, because for a lot of people it's their only opportunity to have community, or it's their only way to access community outside of their 3-mile radius. Like I've made a friend who's in Ireland, and she's, you know, had me on her podcast, and she's one of my most like vocal supporters. I would never have met this woman. You know? And I've heard from people all around the world who were able through social media to reflect back to me what my book meant to them. And they're seeking me out and giving me this beautiful feedback. And then I, in turn, could be there for them. And so I really, like, as a writer, that to me means so much. The fact that it really is a bridge that you build towards kindred spirits all around the world.
Awesome. I love that. I think that's,
Do you get to go in person to a lot of events to meet other poets, or is it mostly online through different social media platforms?
I think it's mostly online. I know that opportunities do exist to go to like spoken word, like
fun,
poetry slams, and I've done that a few times, and it's really cool. I actually spoke Saturday at an event called Saturday Soul that happens in LA once a month.
Cool.
It's run by Kevin Heckmat, and he puts together this 1.5-hour long experience that includes singing, meditation, different people coming and storytelling. And it's like church without church is what I always say. And it's to be in a room full of people all doing the same thing. He shared with us is this thing called collective effervescence. It's when you experience a feeling together that's bigger than the feeling you would have on your own. And that's why I think being with people in person is so important, because it takes you out of your own ego, out of your own body, and makes you part of something joyful that's bigger than you. And so that was a really fun experience for me to share my story there.
Oh, cool.
I love that. So with going into traditional publishing, you said that your book was actually, you were sought out by your publishing agent, correct?
Yeah.
How did that process like work? Did you do like some vetting and stuff? Was there like interviews that you both did for each other, or?
So I had an interesting experience because, like I said, I self-published. It did well. Andrews McMeel, who's like a leading publisher of poetry in the field, reached out to me. So I published in October. They reached out to me in November.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, like there's something here.
Hey there.
And because I was locked into that old story of like me 10 years prior who had tried to get a book deal, I was like, oh, I must need an agent. So through my friends and my network, I secured an agent. And in retrospect, like I wish I had trusted myself a little bit more, because I didn't go to the greatest lengths to vet this person, because I just thought, I just need this.
Okay.
Right. I just thought, oh, you need an agent. Like you want a traditional book deal, you need an agent. And I just did it. And we've since parted ways, and I'm grateful for the assistance that she did provide. But I would say to your listeners, like, don't just get locked into a story, right? Like, actually ask yourself, who is this person? What is it that I expect from them? What are they promising to do for me? Like, what value are they bringing to the table? Whether it's an agent, a publisher, a PR person, a social media marketer. Don't just assume that, oh, they're the expert and I need them and I'm an idiot and I don't know anything, right? I think sometimes our inner critic is so strong that we think other people know better, will do better. And in my case, like, it didn't really move the needle at all for me.
Okay.
And I think it's important that if you are going to seek out representation, that you're really clear on what it is you expect from them, what their track record is, you know, and not just blindly do it.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a saying, to be clear is to be kind. And I think sometimes authors, especially, or those in the creative field, can feel like they're trying to tiptoe around some of the harder conversations because the emotional element to it is a little bit tougher, or it's a little bit more, you know, vulnerable or more raw. And it's like, honestly, you're going to have way more hurt feelings, or worse hurt feelings most likely down the road, by not having the harder conversation up front and just being clear and being like, this is what I look for, this is what I expect. Or even just being curious and being like, what do you do? Like, lay it out for me. What are you offering?
It out for me. One of the poems in my new book, Moon Garden, says, if your silence is the only reason it's working, it's not working. And
that's great.
You know, me reflecting on my own, right? Like, we have to, it hits deep, because I think, to your point, a lot of us, to keep the peace and to remain likable and to seem grateful, like to not rock the boat at all. We're just like, I'm okay. I hope I'm okay. I hope this is okay. But it's not okay.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's also sometimes a fear around, like, I don't know when my shot is coming. It's like you read a story about someone's life and you're like, oh, why? Yeah, of course, because it worked out. But you're reading it after it's worked out, and you're in the moment. You have no idea if it's going to work out or not. And so I think a lot of times, especially like things that I've experienced or gone through, I can see these elements where it's like, okay, if I had known how it would have worked out, would I have actually made that choice, or would I have made a different choice? Right. And it's like, in the moment, you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get 4 more offers or no more offers, and then it's done and gone, and I have no options. And so it's like, just realizing that, like you're saying, like, if the silence is what's working, or if you're choosing something because it's your only option, or you think that it's the only thing you can do to move forward, then you're not vetting it well enough.
That's very, very important.
Yeah.
And I also think, like, to your point, sometimes it does take a really long time to get your shot, and it's easy to get disheartened and think it's never going to come, and feel like you need to settle out of desperation. And look, like, it took me 12 years to get a book deal. Like, I wanted one. I tried desperately to get one in 2010. And I didn't sign the paperwork until 2021. And along the way, I became the best author because I never stopped writing. And I think sometimes we forget that time isn't linear. It's actually more of a spiral, and we keep revisiting and having, you know, the ability to show up in a more authentic, powerful way. And, you know, to take it way back, I discovered in my home library a year or 2 ago that I had actually been published in a young poets anthology when I was 9.
Whoa,
oh,
no
wow.
way. Oh, cool.
And I had forgotten. Like, can you imagine? Like, I'm a poet now.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten that I got published at 9. And so, again, to what I said at the beginning, it is never too late. Like, if you can make space to get to know yourself and to understand what your authentic needs are and what your unique gift is that you can offer the world, there's no expiration date. And so I'm, like, really enjoying that in my 40s, I'm doing the thing that 9-year-old me would have probably, like, been most proud of.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
that's incredible.
I love that so much. Yeah. So your first piece that you self-published was actually a novel. And then you moved along into poetry. So what really pulled you more towards poetry than towards novel writing?
So the novel was my exit strategy from being a lawyer. I was so burnt out from being a litigation attorney. And it kind of was what you know, because at the time, my now husband, my then boyfriend, worked at a big talent agency.
Oh, no way.
And
okay.
back then, I used to read Perez Hilton and Drudge Report. Those were, like, the 2 websites I checked every day back in 2010. And one was a gossip website and one was a political website. And I started noticing, like, why is it that, like, every time there's this big political thing happening, there's also this huge celebrity scandal. And from him, I was hearing about life in an agency. And so all those things kind of gelled together into this book. And in that way, it really is a reflection. Like, I always say everything I write is a memoir, even though it's not technically a memoir. It's a reflection of where I am in that moment.
Sure.
So that's where I was in 2009.
Yeah.
And then by 2018, I had started a self-love movement called Fred and Far. I created a ring called the Self-Love Pinky Ring, which was an invitation to women to choose themselves. And when they would get the ring, they would sign a pledge to honor and love and choose themselves daily. And I would email them and ask for their stories. Like, what does it mean to you to choose yourself? And I got to experience from women like all around the world the most amazing stories of what self-love looked like for them. And then people started asking me, like, okay, well, you're telling me to choose myself. I bought the ring. I love it. I'm wearing it. But what does that mean in day-to-day practice?
Yeah.
And so I started writing poetry on Instagram as a way to explore those themes. Like, what is self-worth? What is self-care? Like, what is the actual implication of all these words we're throwing around with self in the title? And it really started connecting. And over the course of several years, I had written hundreds of pieces. And plus, in the 20 years prior, like, I was always writing poetry ever since I was a child.
Yeah.
And so there are pieces in self-love poetry that I had written in my 20s, you know, that made it into the book.
Yeah.
And so again, it was like a reflection of the times. And same with ABCs of Self-Love, which is my guided self-love journal. It was an ode to my community that I built at that time. And then from there, my next book was The Shift, Poetry for a New Perspective, which I wrote during the pandemic. They are pairs of poems that reflected the fact that I could no longer change my life because we were all locked in to this very limited reality. But the one thing I could change was my perspective. So the left side would be, you know, like the old way I would have handled something. Like, for example, I have a poem in there about how my house, like, all I could see was like the chipping paint and the mess and the things that were broken. And then the right side was the shift, which was like, and all I hear is my children laughing. Because even though it was such a hard time, the quality time I had with my family was actually some of the best quality time we've ever had as a family. So again, like, it's not marketed as a memoir, but it is very much rooted in my experiences while I'm writing. And then my most recent book that came out last week, Moon Garden, Poetry for Manifestation, it's really a love letter to the moon, which has become a really big part of my spiritual practice. And I love the moon. I love witnessing the moon, communing with the moon. And you know, I don't know if it's part of what happens as you get older. Like, I used to make so much fun of my parents for spending their free time gardening. I'm like, who does that? Like, losers. Like, what a waste of time. Losers. Right? But now I'm like, God damn it. Like, they were right. Like, nature has all the answers that we're seeking. And in my book, I actually write about, like, if you're burnt out, the garden is available. If you're heartbroken, the garden is available. And the sanctuary that you seek is right outside your door. And so Moon Garden is really not only about reconnecting with nature and the natural cycle, but realizing that when we do that, we are able to connect with our greatest dreams because we are part of nature, right? Manifestation isn't something that happens in a vacuum. It's something we do collectively when we're in alignment with our true selves and in service to community. So that's where I'm at in my life right now. And it's been really beautiful seeing what happens when you put yourself out there. Like, at every phase of my life, when I've been really vulnerable about where I'm at, I'm able to, like, attract other people who are like, wow, like, now I can be vulnerable. And I think we all deserve to be our true selves. And I hope that when people read my books, they're a little bit kinder to themselves, a little bit more loving towards themselves, and a little bit more hopeful about the world, even though right now it feels hard to be hopeful.
I really love that. I love I know poetry is probably one of the like the harder things, I think, in my opinion, to publish out into the open eye, because although all writing is a piece of yourself that you're sharing with the world, I feel like poetry, especially with your poetry, I mean, since it is sort of a memoir in its own way, you're laying yourself bare for other people to read. How did you work through that? If there was any anxiety about being like, okay, I'm about to show people like the deepest parts of myself. How did you work through that? Because I know there's a lot of fear there, for at least on my part as somebody who also writes poetry, that's like, what if I lay myself out there and people are like, ew, or something.
TikTok.
It's funny. It's a little bit intoxicating though. Like that risk of like being raw and real. And it's like, must be like what riding a motorcycle would feel like for someone who's brave enough to do
junkie.
that. Right? Like, yes, it is a poet junkie, because the first time you lay yourself bare and somebody says to you, wow, you saved my life, you'll never hesitate to do that again. And at my book signing last week, a woman came that I didn't know. Like, it was mainly my friends and family. And she said that your newsletter a few weeks ago saved me from like making a really bad choice. And she was talking about suicidal ideations. And she said that reading my newsletter saved her that night. And like, how could you ever not want to share after you have that kind of experience?
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, you're great.
You're fine.
You know, like, and I'm so fortunate that people, and it's not always sad. Sometimes it's really uplifting that like somebody shares like how utterly uplifted they were and how they found their way home to themselves and how it helped them open a new chapter in their own selves. And so you chase that high of, if I can impact one person, then it's worth it. And thankfully, like, I have had the most supportive, beautiful community of people rise up every time I've made myself vulnerable to give me the affirmation that like what you're doing is right.
That's beautiful. I think that's amazing. I think that's sort of a lot of writers' goals, right? Is like to impact people, but the fact that you've had like that big of an impact on so many people, I think is absolutely beautiful. And
I'm really fortunate.
I guess might sound weird, but like, I'm thankful to you for sharing yourself that way,
Thank you.
so that you can help those people and make those connections. I think that's a beautiful thing that more people should do. So
you know, Darcy, I'll also say that like selfishly, everything I write begins as a way to understand and heal myself, right?
Yeah.
Everything that I write is something that I am personally working through. There are poetry books that you'll see that feel like they're writing to a trope. Like they know that like heartbreak poetry is going to sell. And so they're going to write like it exists, right?
Going on a lot of first dates that aren't working out.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly. But that's just not where I am in my life. Like, I've been married for 15 years and marriage is not easy. And I've written about how hard it is. And I'll say, you know, what's harder than being vulnerable about myself is thinking about the impact my vulnerability has on the people around me. Because like, how awesome is my husband that like I could write a newsletter about like the shit show that we're enduring in our marriage at the moment, and he still supports me. Like, he's my number one cheerleader. Or me struggling with my mom, or having a conflict with my daughters, or you know, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, whatever is going on in my life, invariably, like it impacts other people and is impacted by other people. So, you know, I think the bravest people are not necessarily the writer, but the people who are surrounding the writer, who aren't sitting there trying to stifle the writer. Because a lot of times that happens where, you know, a lot of times my friends will be like, whoa, like Erin was okay with that. And I was like, I hope so.
Well, We'll find out.
He's got to be now.
No, but I think that especially as creatives, it's really important to surround yourself with people who are expanders, who want to take you and help you grow to your fullest, I don't want to say potential because I hate that word, your fullest expression, right?
Yeah.
Who don't want to stifle you, who don't want to make you small, who really want to give you the juice you need to flourish. And I think we have to be careful about who we let into our worlds, because sometimes like the haters are going to find their way close to you, and you're going to say, oh, I want to publish a book. And they're going to be like, why would you want to do that? Like, why don't you go get a real job? Like, why don't,
Yeah.
that exists. So I think it's really important to be protective of your energy and make sure that the people in your circle inspire you and are inspired by you. And, that's how we put our best work out into the world, is when we have that community around us.
Yeah. For sure.
How does your family handle all that family and friends that end up in your work? Are they pretty like chill about it? Do they get a first look so they can work through the emotions before everyone else sees it?
Lauren, I'm normally very complimentary. I will say that in my new book, Moon Garden, there are a handful of stories that are inspired by people close to me, my children, my brother, my mother. And it's been interesting because some of the early reviews on Goodreads were like, I would have given this 5 stars, but the stories about her family felt fake.
Mom's in the comment section going, girl, this is real.
I'm like, what a weird, what a weird reflection. But that's why they say you really should be careful reading your own reviews, because even though I've gotten so much wonderful feedback from people, nothing is for everyone. Right.
Yeah.
But this book felt channeled. It felt like something that came through me. And part of what came through me were these lessons I learned from other people through what they've channeled. And I felt very privileged to give them that platform as well and share their wisdom.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
So you'll have to read it and tell me if you think the stories sound fake. That's everyone's homework.
Gosh, that's gonna get gutsy.
Gonna get a bunch of Goodreads reviews,
right? I wish I was as creative as these stories come across all the time, because I couldn't have made it up if I tried.
Oh man, those are the best.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a little review that says, I rated it 5 stars because the family story sounds fake.
There we go. Thank you.
Darcy's in the comment section.
I love it.
Typing away.
That's amazing.
So yeah, I'm excited to read that one for sure. That one sounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, all of your work sounds absolutely beautiful. I've read a few of them. When you had reached out to me, I kind of did a little bit of digging.
Thank you.
They're all very beautiful.
Thank you so much. Well, what makes this book special is it's my first time that to have a cover with a color.
That's cool.
All my other books are a neutral. So I'm very into this blue that took me 4 months and 200 Pantone chips to select.
Gosh, it's like trying to paint a wall in your house. You're like, is it this shade of white or this shade of white or this shade of white? They're all white.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I love that.
That's amazing. Okay, this is slightly off topic. But Melody, since you're so into moon and moon phases and just phases of life now, do you have a favorite phase of the moon?
Oh, that's a good question. So I'm going to answer that slightly differently. Okay. There are 12 moons of the year. So the January moon is different than the November moon, the December moon, and each one has its own energy. April is called the pink moon.
Okay, fun.
And it is a month of love, self-love and love for others. And I think that is my favorite moon of the year energetically. August is good too. That's the sturgeon moon. And that is a moon that's all about self-restoration and letting go of shame and reclaiming your wholeness. I think that's also really powerful. And then in terms of moon phase, I'm so basic. I'm I love a full moon, blah, blah.
That's why it's on your cover.
Right? Everyone. Yeah. But I will say, earlier this week, a crescent moon stopped me dead in my tracks. Like I literally was like, I gasped when I saw it because it was so beautiful.
I love it.
And I think that's one of the things we learn from the moon is that she is beautiful in all her phases. She's beautiful even when you can't see her. And I think that's always like a good mirror and reminder for us that we're all cyclical, we're all constantly changing, and no matter how we show up, we're still worthy of love and goodness and luck. And, you know, the moon is our reminder, right? To love ourselves in all our phases.
Yeah.
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 I love the moon. I have a tattoo that's the moon phases, and under it says "Strive to be whole, not perfect."
Nice.
And
Nice.
So,
Man, I'm in
Yeah.
good company. I
Yeah.
thought I was the only weird one who liked the moon. But I mean, I'm not as committed as you are, Melody, for sure. But I've always liked the little Cheshire Grin moon. I'm like, that's the
Listen,
vibe.
you are on your way. I am actually, as part of the, campaign around Moon Garden, I made a hat, like a baseball cap that I sent to people in their gift boxes that says lunatic on it because
I love a good dad joke.
right? I'm really trying to reclaim this word. Like, I want lunatic to be a good thing instead of a bad thing.
I love it.
It's unfortunate that with all the horrors happening in our country, the word lunatic is thrown around a lot and not in a positive way.
yeah.
But, lunatic was originally a word that was developed to describe like witchy women. Like, oh, she's a
interesting.
lunatic. So I'm like,
'Cause
yes,
of the moon.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Yeah.
am a
Interesting.
lunatic. So we're reclaiming that. And I just think one of the things that I love about the moon the most is she rises when the world is still. And you actually can have time for yourself that isn't dedicated to other people. Like no one's expecting an email back at 10 o'clock at night. Like no kid is like pulling on your shirt saying, Mom, 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 Mom. Like this is really, your partner like fell asleep watching TV. Like if you want that alone time, the moon is there to have it with you. And so that is something that's really great for me. Like daytime always feels like I cannot really find peace within myself because I'm in so many pieces. Whereas at night I get to be whole. So I hope the moon is a reminder for others that like it's your time now. Like when the moon goes up in your mind, it should be like, okay, it's my time now.
My time.
Yeah.
And
my
all the
me
night
time.
owls said, "Amen."
Yeah. No.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. Ooh. I love it. I love it. All right. I
love
derailed
it.
us quite a bit on that one.
No, I love that. That was such a good question, though.
It is a good question.
Yeah. Well, I just
And
thought,
look, poetry,
Yeah.
people think poetry is so serious. Like, yes, my poetry is very deep and meaningful, but also there are moments where it's like really light. And I think we all can stand for a little bit of sweetness, lightness. Like, I love that we had a good laugh about being lunatics. Like, we need that.
That's so
love
funny.
it.
Oh my word.
So I guess my next question would be, because you gave a ton of really good advice throughout like the whole conversation. What I guess are like one or two of like the key best advice that you'd have for our listeners?
This is really hard for a lot of people, and it certainly is hard for me, but show up consistently. Like, don't have a burst of creativity and then like take 2 weeks off. Whether that means like writing for 5 minutes a day, whether that means posting on social, whether that means keeping up with your newsletter. Like, I am the first to say I struggle with all of these things, but consistency is what rewards your efforts.
Yeah.
Not necessarily even like talent or creativity. It's really the consistency and devotion. And in the book, I say, like, how devoted are you willing to be? And I think that's a really good question to ask yourself. And also, don't wait for permission. I think I hear the word like aspiring poet. Like I'm a poet. So people are like, I'm an aspiring poet. I'm an aspiring writer. How should I get started? I'm like, well, stop calling yourself aspiring. Like, that's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
You are what you are. Start sharing, start building community. Because again, like, regardless of whether you're self-published or traditionally published, everyone wants to see that you have a community that believes in what you're doing. And it could be 5 people, it could be 5,000 people. It doesn't matter. It's just your willingness to put it out there consistently and to share what you have to offer with the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's two really good pieces of
Yeah.
advice.
And I'll add one other thing. There are a lot of resources. Like there's like Publisher Rocket. Like I don't know if people know about this, that helps you identify the categories that are available on Amazon. There's Brian Cohen's like Amazon Ad School. This guy once a year does a free class that teaches you how to run ads for your books on Amazon.
Nice.
There are ways to be a student when it comes to this stuff, and you should approach it with like curiosity and willingness to learn. And that's been really helpful to me, is to like seek out those resources and be curious about how I can be doing things better.
Yeah. Curiosity is so important.
Yeah.
So important for anything.
It makes
really.
things fun, right? Like it makes things fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
you get to learn new things and sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to, as a whole, like replace the word uncertainty with opportunity.
Oh, nice.
Because I used to struggle with a lot of anxiety about the unknown and the future. And now I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's suddenly become this like beautiful thing. Whereas before it was, not so beautiful. So I think that's the other thing I would leave people with, is like start replacing the question marks in your mind with exclamation points, right? Like, what if? Like, what if something amazing happens today? Because it can. And I think manifestation is about the energy with which you believe. And you can't manifest your way into something with anxiety and doubt. Like, it just doesn't work that way. It requires clarity, a joyful, strong belief, and then consistent devotion. I think that is my manifestation formula.
Yeah. That's a great formula. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it because I've tried doing manifesting in the past and everything like that, but I've still always gone into it with anxiety. So I think that's excellent advice on that.
What if you actually believe you can have what you want? Like, I struggle with that still. I have big dreams, but I'm always like, but how? Like, how's it going to happen? How do I deserve it? Am I good enough? Did I do enough? And what if we allow for the possibility that we are good enough, we've done enough, we can have it, and at the same time, we consistently show up with our action and not just like sit on a couch and assume that if we believe we deserve it, it will come to us.
Yeah.
But that belief is really, really important, and having that joyful, attractive, magnetic energy like feels very elusive. Like, God knows I don't feel it most of the time. But when I actually try to practice that, like the universe starts pinging me left and right, and my intuition gets activated, my creativity gets activated. I become the version of myself that like I aspire to be, which is someone who believes that the world is good and good things can happen, instead of like me being the version that's so worried that the other shoe's going to drop at any given moment.
Yeah, not to get mushy on podcast, but
go for it.
Lauren is
oh no, if it's about me,
somebody
don't do
that
it.
it's so about you.
No.
So she is sort of that part of that formula, I guess, that I was missing for a while when it comes to all of that. Because she's been the one that's been pushing me and helping me like not just sit there and be like, I'm a writer and I'm not doing any writing. And then Lauren came in and was just like, I want you to help me and we're gonna do this together. And
I love that.
and just I don't know, all of Lauren's like faith that she has in me with the whole project that we're working on, and how she's constantly giving me room to grow and breathe within it even when I'm stressed out. I wanted to just kind of bounce off of what you were saying and say how thankful I was for her. So
that's so sweet.
So that is so beautiful, and I think that's the whole point. In the book, I talk about clonal trees. Do you know what clonal trees are? So there are these trees that at the surface appear to be independent trees. Like like aspen trees are clonal trees. Like you look at them, you're like, oh, there's one, there's another. But they actually all share the same root system. So underneath the surface, they're all connected.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was so inspired by that and the idea that like our best manifestations are collective. It's like me helping you, you helping me. And it may seem like we're on our own roads, but underneath the surface, we're all fueling each other. And that's why like now when I meet people and I share about my book, I always close by asking like, what are you manifesting and how can I help you? And I mean that like from the depth of my soul, because I don't think we're meant to do it alone. I think Lauren was meant to come and say, Darcy, I see you. Like, I want to do this with you. And you'll do that for her, or someone else will do that for her. I mean, you're both doing that for me right now by sharing your time with me and your platform with me so I can share about my books. And I just think we can all consistently pay that forward. And how much sweeter is it to like reach the finish line with people you love? Like that's what we're all doing, is like we're getting to our manifestations together, which I think is such a blessing.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned the clonal trees too, because literally I was praying about like what to do about the concept, because like I've told Darcy before and we've talked about on the podcast, like I'm not into zombies. This is not my vibe. And I was just like, God, I don't know what to do with this. Like you gave me this idea, it's not divinely inspired at all. Clarify that. But like this is not me. Like this is not like the thing I do. So I need you to bring someone into my life that's going to be part of being the doer of this thing, because it's not like I don't know where to start. And then, you popped into my mind and I was just like, dang, there we go. Look at that.
It's amazing. And that's the power of faith. And I think people get nervous around this idea because they think it has to be tied to a specific thing, or that like one person's faith is different than another person's faith. I personally think it's all one and the same. Like we're all connected energetically to each other and everything all the time. And when we ask for help, like when we ask for clarity, like it comes because the universe loves to flourish. Like that's what's happening all around us all the time. And I think it's important to make space for that and to ask, right? Like, I think that is so beautiful that you asked for clarity and you got it. I think that's available to us much more than we think it is.
Agreed. Completely agreed.
My brother yesterday told me that he did a morning prayer where he was saying like, please, if I start cycling and having bad thoughts, like snap me out of it, right? Because he was like spiraling a little bit. And that morning he went on a walk, and as soon as he started walking, his thoughts started spiraling. And then all of a sudden there was this huge glare off a truck that he was passing by that just like literally blinded him and stopped his thoughts. And he was like,
oh, wow.
He's like, wow. He's like, he literally called me. He's like, that is exactly what I asked for, to be stopped dead in my tracks when I was spiraling. And
wow,
that's good.
That's right. Like you just have to know what you want.
That's cool.
Right. You have to ask for help.
Ask for help. Ask for what you want.
No matter what part of the process you're in, I think that goes back to community as well. Just talking about us being a part of community, of being like, there's resources out there, you are not an island in all of this. I know we can feel like it with how isolating writing could be, but there are lots of other little islands out there that you just have to build the bridge to connect you guys. And it's like, it's out there. It's just taking that first step, which is super cheesy to say, but oh well.
No, I mean,
it's true though.
It's not. And it's funny. It's my cheesiest poems that like really resonate the deepest. Like sometimes I try to get really analytical and like use big words and try to say something really profound.
Very erudite.
My like most popular poem, and I will say it to you because it's so short, is I finally found my rhythm when I realized that even the steps backward were part of the dance.
Yeah.
And that hits, right? It's not elevated. There are no fancy words in there. It's not 20 stanzas. It is just this deep, simple, even kind of corny truth that once you hear it, you're like, oh, like, that makes sense. And I think we're all dancing through life in that way. Like, we're all
Yeah.
dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
So I guess I'll start wrapping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about the book that came out last week. But if you
Yes.
wanted to maybe show it again so that we can
Yeah,
see.
show it so we can see it.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's Moon Garden Poetry for Manifestation. It has a foil cover that's glittering.
Love the foil.
So pretty.
One thing that I like to do with all of my books is to use them as oracles and just like flip to a page and see what we get.
Let's
So
do it.
I would love to flip
Yeah.
and see, you know, like where do we land today?
I love that.
Okay. This one's more of like a prose piece, but I think it's very appropriate.
Let's do it.
A seed for even the most extraordinary flower is just an unassuming seed until it is planted. The same is true for your ideas. Take the first step and plant the seed. Instead of waiting for inspiration, draw, write, play, dance, express yourself however you can. Set into motion your own metamorphosis. The world needs your soul's one-of-a-kind expression now more than ever.
Nice.
That's so good and very fitting.
I know.
love
Very
that.
fitting.
That's very on point with
Very
like multiple
yeah.
points.
Thank you, Source.
Yes. I love that.
That's
That
awesome.
was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
So I guess for our listeners, where can they find you? Like what your social media handles or anything like that, where they can
Sure.
kind of take a little bit of pieces from your manifestations and your poems.
Thank you. Luckily, my name is very unique, Melody Godfred. That's my website, melodygodfred.com. It's also my handle on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and LinkedIn. And in terms of and I would love to hear from you. Like, I really love connecting with people. I know there are authors that like don't respond to DMs, which I never will understand. Like, I'm a responder. So please reach out and let me know about your experience. And then I also have a Substack called Self Love Confidential that you can find on my website, where I write about like what does self-love look like in practice. And I share poetry oracles where you'll get a weekly poem that's
How
from
fun.
the universe for you.
I love that.
Yeah. And then my books are available everywhere. Barnes & Noble, Amazon, your local indie bookstore.
Love it.
Yeah, so support your favorite bookstore, and don't forget to leave reviews. They really help authors so much, especially if they're positive.
Don't mention any fake stories here.
They're all real.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
to talk to us.
This was so fun.
Sharing.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed it. Thank you for reaching out. Shout out to, was it Poetry Rise, who connected us, because that was amazing.
Yes. Yes. Shout out. Thank you.
Yes.
He's the best. Talk about poetry community. He's like the glue of the community. So,
Oh, wow.
Jared.
Yeah.
Jared, you have a real name. You're amazing.
Yes. Thank you for supplying the name.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. I love it.
Well, I guess I'll
Let's
just
do it again sometime.
Yes,
absolutely.
please. Yeah. And I will leave everybody with this. Just remember, everybody's a work in progress. It's a process.
Yep. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Melody.